Good evening, and thank you for joining us here at Draw 8 of the ATB Classic, coming to you from the Okotoks Curling Club in Okotoks, Alberta. I'm Daniel Bubola, and I am joined by Mickey Pendergast.
Hey Dan, how's it going?
Pretty good, and here we are in a B qualifier. We have Jacobs versus Tao. Opening end here, Jacobs with hammer. Tao elected to go into the house. And Jacobs is responding with a corner guard.
Yeah, we can get started right away. Might as well put some pressure on. I'm sure they're figuring these young guys are a little nervous, so you might as well put the heat on early.
Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be a lot of conservatism here on the part of Jacobs.
I might as well put some pressure on them, right? So.
Yep.
Good throw, man.
And thank you for joining us. Megan, Julia, Lisa, Teresa in the chat here. And yeah, good point there, Teresa. This is the first event for this Jacobs team, but these with this foursome. They did have a rough game this afternoon. And that's how they dropped to the B side.
Yeah, Team Dropkin really handed it to them this afternoon. So
Yeah, 16-4
I don't know if these guys had an off game or if Dropkin was just on fire, but it could be interesting. Because it's hard to beat this team's resume, that's for sure. You got Olympic golds and world championships and Briar championships all over the sheet there. So.
Yeah.
Clean. Line's good.
And another interesting fact, I think that was Ben Ebert's first loss in this event, in the history of this event.
He's won it undefeated every time.
He's gone undefeated 3 years in a row.
Broke the string.
Yeah, he's done it with different team members too.
Great sweep, guys.
That's a good start. Locked it on there at the right angle.
Yeah, showing the right side of it there. And if you're joining us from the Curling Zone YouTube page, welcome. We're glad that you can join us. If you did want to leave a comment that Mickey and I can read, you do have to do it, however, through the Okotoks Curling Club YouTube page. But we're glad that you're tuning into the ATB Classic from wherever you are.
Depending how good this one is here, Jacobs will decide whether or not to keep playing around that guard, or he might run it back and blow it up. Like right now, nose hit could get rid of all three yellows and leave him with a corner guard and shot rock and another tight red. So I think that's what he'll be shooting for. Get this nose hit or sliver high, and in really good shape to control the rest of this and set up a deuce potentially.
And you can see where Brad Jacobs set up with the broom on that rock. He is not calling ice. It was actually a shade negative, and it did actually curl up on him, but this has been very weight-sensitive ice. You're seeing lots of curl on the draws, but if you get your weight up at all, it is quite straight.
Yeah, they're probably icing it there. They're probably playing a bit of a set kind of a release, so especially on big weight, so it'll track dead straight or slightly back. So Brent might have got a hair narrow on that one, or else they found some fresh pebble. Who knows?
Tao just looking to replace that guard.
Yeah, maybe a little longer this time to make the run back harder, because I'm pretty sure Jacobs will be playing the same kind of run to get rid of all those yellows in the middle. Yeah, quite a bit longer. It's a tougher shot. He might chase this one with some kind of board weight or something.
For you to be able to kind of do this.
Welcome, Gary. And Cheryl, thanks for coming back to our page.
He's chasing the one in the rings now. He should be able to. If he hits it perfect, you get rid of the back yellow, and the top yellow will just sort of realign itself off the red. And maybe if you hit it perfect, the shooter would be dead frozen nose of that yellow with room to remove it past the back red. Weight has to be precise.
Clean. Weight's good. Clean. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Clean. Yep. Hard. Clean. Hard. Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Curl.
Went from on hard to make it curl, so
Keep going. Yep. Hard.
it's going to be close.
We looked at the curl another inch or something just to get the redirect on that yellow, but so Town could probably get rid of everything in here, and then Jacobs can decide what he wants to do, which one he wants to come around.
Yeah, he's motioning for the blast to clear everything.
Yeah, it's tough to keep your shooter if you're going to get rid of all the. If you can get rid of the top red, he's just calling like a normal weight.
Yeah. Well, he motioned as if he wanted to get rid of everything, but then he motioned for the nose hit, which wouldn't get rid of everything.
Especially with that weight, and it's partly buried, so more than likely this red's going to hang around in the wings someplace. I can't really see the separation, so.
Looks like there's none.
Zero. Yeah, it'll be hard to get rid of that unless you hit it thin. If you get to the nose, you might leave the yellow locked onto it. That's not bad.
Here they're trying to make it curl. Probably going to leave a red.
Yeah, it squirts over there in the wings like we thought. And
it is for second shot, so.
Yeah.
Not a desirable outcome there when you don't have hammer.
The nose hit here, especially if you can just kick it at least edge buried, there won't be a double.
Can't get low here, eh?
Yeah, it's hard not to leave a double with those rocks so close together.
I mean, you could drop something like that, but still. Come on.
Nose is good, guys.
Like I'm seeing an out turn.
And Mark's out turn.
He knows that he still has a double mark.
I feel like if you rolled a rock with there, like he's indicating, that should be dead flat.
Kind of weight, guys.
Yes, it would be. You definitely couldn't get to it off the other red.
Yeah, I think he's afraid of it.
Wonder if the roll the other way is just a little bit easier, perhaps.
He said it's tough to get past that when you get any kind of a roll. So.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. And here they are trying to make this curl early. Oh, just
must have been wide.
Yeah.
Heavy, they're saying.
Yeah, there you go. That'll do it to you. As we said, with the very weight sensitive, you get it up at all, and you're not going to get the curl.
Yeah.
Are you censoring the commentator?
I don't think we're getting sound on that.
So Tao has a chance to set up the force here. You can sit 3 all above the tee line.
Yeah, be pretty much committed to a force, and Jacobs will still try to figure out a way to get his 2 probably at that point.
Yeah, for sure, but
It's getting tough.
it'll be like a skip's deuce probably.
Yeah.
Get some kind of roll here.
No, this is
Roll
rolling
away.
out, yeah.
I might just try the same shot Mark just threw.
Red.
A little different room or a little different weight. Get a little more room now. I moved that guard over.
Cheryl's wondering where Tao is curling out of. So that they're actually the University of Alberta team. That's the big A that you see represented on their jacket fronts there, and on the back you'll see the golden bear. Their mascot.
They play. It's on the U of A campus in Edmonton. It's called the Saville Center, the curling rink there. So they're the varsity team. They're a U21 team. So probably that might be the best program, certainly in Canada, maybe anywhere, for training young curlers. Their success rate is unbelievable for both men's and women's. There.
Got a roll and just pokes out a little bit.
You can't give a player of that caliber the same crack at the same shot twice. That player B, he's always really good compared to player A.
Yeah.
Good scrub.
Nose hit double though, which brings the blank back into play. That rollout on the previous rock was huge. Take that force off the table if he makes this double.
On it early.
Through the yellow.
And through the hole.
Well, there you go. The deuce is back on the table.
Yeah.
To go there, to go wide. It's hard to go wide side and stay for shot. Can't hit that yellow and expect to not leave a double.
Hit and roll under it all, though. The only thing. No, it's not. No. It might be the call. I mean, the best shot would be almost get it open over in here, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Yeah, he gets the double
They're talking about where they would the depth of this rock, this draw that they're looking at making. A couple of concerns. One would be setting up the double off the red. The other would be also being a little too high and perhaps leaving them a hit and roll behind it. Of course, you come too deep, you might leave a hit and roll in front. So
yeah, they're talking about playing the in-turn and over curling because it's pretty hard to play the other turn and leave it open the way this ice curls. So they're talking about playing the in-turn, but they're not trying to necessarily get buried behind the yellow. They're trying to basically split the rings, over curl this so that if Tao does make the perfect hit and roll, they're going to have the short run back using this rock. It'll have to get all the way full 8 foot so that the nose hit, the shooter will beat that existing yellow over there. So.
Okay. You good?
Boys are sitting back 8, so it's all there.
Yep. Whoa.
If this goes deep, as long as it hangs on for second, it's probably not terrible.
yeah.
The deeper you can get it and stay for second, the steeper the double is.
It's fine. It's not too deep. Okay.
And there it is.
Actually
Second
pretty good.
shot.
There's no double.
Very difficult double. Yeah, the only way to
double is
attempt a
the perfect
double
hit and
would be the slash.
The slash double is the perfect 4.5 foot hit and roll.
And would they be shot if they tried to attempt a freeze at it?
Looks like it. I don't think they'd ever do that, but I think you're right. They would be shot if they froze to the nose.
Would be a pretty risky play in the first end.
Yeah, you don't want to bring 3 into play, I don't think. So if he makes this slash double, probably kills his yellow and rolls out too. So definitely rolls out. Probably kills it. Probably gets all three of them. This is about a thick half or something, half rock. Hard to tell from our angle, but
Yeah.
halfish, thin half.
Yeah. Probably rolling into their other
I think
yellow.
I think they're killing. Hit just to make the two reds. I think he killed that yellow. It's pretty thin. These are always a little thinner than you think.
There it goes. And
There you
got
go.
it. There you go.
Great shot.
And I'm not sure if that, are we pretty sure that that other one is off the rings? Brad's there having a look.
He's looking at it a lot. It must be closer than you think.
We should. I don't know if we.
Never really thought about it until this point. It wasn't a factor until Tao made that nice slash double.
No, it's not. Not back here. See the white's out. That one's biting the white.
The
It's
white
out.
part here, right? Like you can see the white part out of play, but like I don't know.
The discussion they're having has to do with the logo. Those houses are giant logos that we put in, and there's a bit of a border around them, just through the manufacturing. The border is white, so
That's out of the ring.
that is
White's
out
not
of the
part
rings.
ring.
The white is not part of the rings.
The logo is 12 feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
It's
on
the
sheet
blue-
one,
the
it's a little
blue part,
different. There's
so-
a red. There's
Yeah.
a red border on sheet one, but that is part of the ring.
Correct. Yes, if it's a colored border, that would be part. The white is just left over from the material when it's manufactured.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to see it from these cameras here. It's because it's very faint, and that's sort of the concept. Is that it's supposed to blend in, but when you're standing right over it and you're trying to qualify for the ATB Classic, you get worried about these things.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're getting it right.
And now they're probably going to put a stick to it. Because why wouldn't
No.
you? No, they're not even going to bother. They're saying they know that's out. So
Okay, there's that blank end we were talking about.
blank end, yeah, didn't look like that was going to happen, but blank end to blank opening end here in the B qualifier on a Friday night at the Okotoks Curling Club at the ATB Classic.
On the second one?
Thank you for joining us. And
First one?
we'll be back with the second end momentarily. End number 2 in this B qualifier matchup of the ATB Classic. Tao versus Jacobs, a blanked first end. Jacobs retains hammer, playing end number 2. Tao came deep on the first rock. That's the rock you see back of the 8 foot there. And Jacobs going with the corner guard to try and generate some points that way.
I think he was throwing the corner guard regardless, but it definitely takes the heat off when that rock's back 8 foot.
Yes.
Tao can't put any pressure on by going top 4 tight guard or something. This is he's got to come in again now, so definitely takes the pressure off.
And Teresa in the chat wants to know, if you're watching this, who is everybody cheering for here? So feel free to chime in. We mentioned that this is a B qualifier game. There are a couple of other B qualifiers. That is on sheet 3, we got Cooey versus Kleider. And on sheet 5, Gooskens versus Bruner. So they're trying to qualify here. And then we also have a few teams playing for their lives here in the C event, facing elimination. Sheet 1, we have Zoo versus Morozumi. Sheet 4, Maeda versus Totsic. And sheet 6, Abe versus, where are they playing? Whiff. Of course. Whiff is our Team Canada junior.
Yeah, they're off to the Worlds in April, so they've got a season to prepare.
Yep.
Maybe a repair too.
Yeah, repair. Well, yeah.
Could be.
I was talking to them. They had a very heartbreaking loss last night.
Oh, yeah. Up 2 coming home with hammer and gave up a steal of 4.
Yeah. So there's going to be some repairing going on there.
That'll be a learning experience. I was talking to Michael the second. I said, yeah, you're here to learn, right?
Yeah.
You hope you learn something from that.
Yeah, I was talking with Kai and the team, and I said, hey, I'm sure everyone's told you everything you need to hear about that end, but just remember your primary focus is Italy in April. You know, let's just keep building on that. But going back to our feature sheet here, and we've got a lot of rocks in play.
Yeah, it's sort of textbook. Once that was back 8, Jacobs did the corner and around, so he's got one sort of in the bank over there. Now he goes to work cleaning up the middle.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that the second and third rocks from Tao were supposed to be guards.
The second one I would say had to be in because the first one's so deep.
Okay,
this last one should have been a guard. You don't want them to be able to get another one of the rings here. So it's just sort of standard. If you're going to put that corner in the bank over there, you know you're going to be faced with a bunch of yellows down the middle. But when you have Brett Gallant playing second and Mark Kennedy playing third, I think you're pretty confident you're going to make contact on those runners. And you'll be able to clean that mess up. So
yep, that was a good double to sit second and third.
Yeah, I hit that perfectly. So the double, you can try the double, I guess. You might jam back here on the yellow, so I'm not sure it's even there. Just make it and hang around. Just make the nose hit and hang around. But the double, I think it just comes back on the yellow. And you've lost all
it does
your
look
yellows.
from this angle like you got a high chance of coming back on yellow or jamming it.
Just throwing some weight at it, so you must be trying to blast it.
Isn't. Oh, leaves it
Worst
frozen.
Case, that's worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Dead frozen, dead nose.
Yeah.
Shot rock. Now
That's a hard
corner
freeze to
guard.
make right there.
That's perfect. Throws 100 times and I'll do that again.
And John Neward in the comment section is a fan of Team Tau. I have a feeling I know why.
You read the back of the third man's jersey, you might get a clue there, Sherlock.
Yeah.
So yeah, trouble time for Tau here, because this is setting up exactly how Jacobs would have wanted it to.
Yeah.
Shot rock frozen, and the corner guard, his color, his turn to shoot. It'd be tough to escape this one for Tau.
And a good, well-placed
Well
draw.
made, yep. Dead buried above the tee line. Nice to have a second man who can make the straight back double and the perfect come around.
Yeah.
We're on third rocks. He's running the guard back. He's trying to escape.
Yeah, you're gonna have to need you're gonna go this approach. You're gonna need a really precise run here at some point, or big double.
Contact.
There you go. But you said just
Got that
leave him in
one.
a guard. Of course, now if you're attempting the run, it's at least going to be the right color for.
Yeah, next
for
one
Tao.
coming. Next one
Yeah.
coming back because yellow at least. Yeah.
Wait only. You got back 8. Okay, right off then. You got lots of lines, so.
Easy, easy, easy. Just, yeah. Yeah, give it one. Give it one.
Whereabouts is it? Is it in front of the red? Trying.
They were hoping this stops. It's just going to come a tiny bit deeper than they originally hoped for, but still no double off that center one, or hit and roll off the center one.
No, had to come back another foot or two. They might be able to throw a bomb and trying to blast that freeze, and the shooter would go over and kick the other one out, but it stopped just in time.
Down now, trying to follow that red one down with it sliding behind the tee line. Good opportunity here.
And the only other shot might be to nose that one on the center line. If you make a dead nose, get rid
yeah.
of that back yellow and stay frozen on it.
Yeah, because that
He's
yellow
got some-
that yellow one is really the problem rock for Down right now. Is their own rock.
The risk with that hit is it has to be super precise, otherwise you kick off somewhere, and he's
Yeah.
hitting this at 3 now. But it might be your best chance to get out of this.
Really don't want to bounce here.
That's well placed.
That is well, yep.
You can tap it too, Ed.
And we do have some people having some opinions about certain decisions with teammates people have made. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and we love hearing them on this chat. So feel free to keep the comments coming.
So Mark needs to freeze this little high side, or a small tap is okay as long as you stay for second.
Top foot. Line back. Clean.
Tee.
Okay, right.
Heavy.
If he gets to the nose, he won't be second.
I'm
over
calling
one
it heavy.
in the back.
And you see Brett switching sides here, and he's trying to. What he's trying to do is get as much curl as he can, and possibly even slow it down by doing that. But he chapped off.
Yeah, there's some people that think that knifing action definitely helps it curl, but it might also kill a little bit of the speed. I'm not sure it's been proven scientifically, but that seems to be that's why a lot of people play it.
So for speed, like talk to me about speed, like it's
Didn't hate it either.
It's been all week.
Fast. Yeah, so did I. 50.
Nose hit isn't terrible here. You got to be a little bit careful. There's
5
that
feet
extra,
less than
there's
that.
that extra red kicker over there now. You don't want to roll to a spot where you can get them all moving.
Right.
Like he used to roll towards the center line. You can rattle it, and the shooter kills the wide one, and the back one goes. So it's probably wants to kick a little bit across the face. I don't know. It's dicey in there.
Yeah. looked, from my perspective, I thought he was a little full of the broom, but they're calling it on. Now they're calling for the.
Yeah, basically nose. I don't think there's anything.
Town sitting second and third. I think.
Might even be bored.
Where's the best roll, Mark?
Hey?
Is it anywhere? Make the double and lay 3?
Pretty much. Well, you won't lay 3, but I'd love to
Or
be
I mean,
second.
Might
I
even be
mean,
bored.
I would love to be
Thin
second
enough
shot.
to make sure you
Yeah.
get that yellow.
No, with that, Jacobs was talking about making the double. He doesn't really need to make the double. He only needs to move that yellow. That yellow rock that's off to the side. Half a rock
Chisel
with.
it out,
He
yeah.
just needs to shave it.
If he rolls to center line, he chisels that yellow rock a few inches, and that's all he needs. And then you bring 3 or 4 into play. Nothing wrong with the nose hit, though. Ideally, you want to be third shot.
Seems to curl on that side of the line.
So nose hit would give him
10.5. Try to hit 2/3.
sit third or second. So he says he wants 2/3. That'll chisel that one to bring that back red into play,
Yeah.
and then roll dead in front of these other reds, or the red-yellow combination there.
Hair heavy.
Normal!
Hard, Fred.
Going hard for it, and Jacobs did mention that he expected it to curl a fair bit. He's getting close to that guard. Oh, and now he's going to just.
Wow, that
nick
wasn't close.
No.
It wasn't going to want to be anywhere near that guard. That's a big miss. That's odd.
Yeah.
Now we can play that nose hit we talked about before.
Yeah.
If he just blasts that stuff at the back.
It did make contact there, so there is a little bit of separation, but you still got to throw pretty hard to end up. I don't know if you could.
You'd have to blast it and roll away.
Yeah, so
it
you
might leave him that same shot for that 2/3
right.
chisel kind of double thing.
So just if you could throw a nice hack waiter right on the nose.
Hack board, dead nose, or just a sliver on that side. Looks like that's what he's doing with this ice. If he's throwing a big weight, he'd have a lot less ice.
It'll be interesting because
Might leave him a triple, eh? You know what I mean? Like if you nose it right there, he might be playing some sort of a kill the 2 he just tried to kill, and the shooter comes over and hits this one.
Yeah.
If he ever gets low on it. If he stays a little high, he's okay.
He wants to be probably just a centimeter high. Or probably a nose hit would be even good.
He's throwing some weight. He's trying to kill all this, it looks like.
Well,
It's kind of the same shot.
I know.
Brad's going to be.
Same shot.
Sure,
2/3 high with control.
I just think that. Okay, so we saw it curl there. I think it just curls there. I don't think that did anything weird, right? So to make this shot good, all we got to do is touch that, right? Right there. That's a hair more, right? That's what I'm thinking, yes.
Yeah, the way he's talking, he thinks he threw that last one fine. He just didn't have the broom in the right place.
Yep.
Was that like maybe a 10 there?
Yep.
10, I'm going for 10 and a half. You think
got
that
it.
looks like a little too much ice?
Mark!
Just an inch. Yeah. Yes.
All right, we'll see if he can make the right adjustment here. You know, sometimes you just, if you believe you threw it well, you threw at the broom, then could be the broom was in the wrong spot. That is part of making the shot.
Hard for close. Stay close. Whoa, hard for close. Yep. Whoa.
This has got to be fairly close. There you
Just
go.
like that, yeah.
Wow. Well, that was a great shot. And Jacobs gets his deuce here in 2 to go up 2-0 over Tau in this B qualifier of the ATB Classic, coming to you from the Okotoks Curling Club.
Just me, I think. Just me, I think. We got.
And here we are in end number 3 at the ATB Classic in this B qualifier game. Jacobs is up 2-0 over Tau. Jacobs just made a great double to get his deuce. Tau now has hammer, of course.
It's weird where. Oh, I see there was a hit. Okay.
Yeah.
I missed the first 2 rocks. So they played like a delayed corner.
Yes.
Kind of a set up. Yeah, they'd be probably focused, this younger team focused on keeping it simple, trying to play as many ends as they can, sort of a thing. If they hang around long enough, then you close them out at the end or something like that. But not going to over gamble here.
Yeah.
Try and stay within reach.
We had someone in the comment section asking about time clocks, and we don't use them for this event. Be nice to be able to use them. Realistically, for an event like this, the issue is the sort of manpower you need to get something like that.
Yeah, you need a clock. You need 6 clocks, right? 8 clocks on all 6 sheets. You need volunteers starting it from 8:30 in the morning till midnight.
Yeah, and volunteers that have to pay attention to every shot. Like you can't, we have the luxury of going for a bathroom break here when you're timing. You can't even even do that. So
you have to pay attention.
yeah. And unfortunately, as someone mentioned, the Schuster Cooey game was pushing 3 hours for that 9-end game. And as one of the ice techs here, definitely not a desirable outcome. It just makes us have to rush to try and keep everything on time.
Well, Adams and Jakes were even longer for their 9 ends.
Yeah, they
It
were.
was 3 hours and about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
So we would love it if these games could be played a little faster, but we have to work within our limits here. Joshua couldn't hear us for a while, but we do mute the mics here every now and then. I hope you can hear us now. Yeah, we are having some issues with updating the scores there on Curling Zone. So probably not going to be a reliable source for you there for a while. Speaking of Curling Zone, if anybody here is joining us watching via the Curling Zone YouTube page, thank you for joining us. However, we can't see your comments there. If you do want to leave a comment for Mickey or I, or just make a comment in general, we do love hearing from you, good, bad, and different, weighing in on some of the topics we talk about. But you have to do that through the Okotoks Curling Club YouTube page. So please consider going over to our page, Okotoks Curling Club YouTube channel, and why don't you subscribe to us? And then you can know whenever we've got something being broadcast. Cheryl thinks we rock. Thank you, Cheryl.
Cheryl knows what she's talking about.
Yeah. And here we are halfway through the end.
Yeah, they threw it in. Obviously, Jacobs threw it in, so Tao hit it, and then Jacobs hit back, so to the corner, the old delayed corner guard theory. So now it's Tao has enough rocks in there in play to sort of make something happen without over gambling and getting into a real messy end in the middle. So there's some opportunities here for sure.
Hey, Cups, can I get a little more? I think it's going to curl.
Let's get the weight right and good release.
Get the weight right and good release. Is that what my problem has been, Mickey? That I haven't been getting the weight right with a good release?
Yeah, that's two problems right there in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you get them both wrong, it works out. If you're narrow but you're heavy, it can still work out.
Close to normal.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you can be so bad that you're good. That's the thing about curling. And that does happen sometimes.
Wide and light works, narrow and heavy works, but you can't be the other way around. So kind of an offensive situation here for Tao. This has to be really well placed, but it's possible. Corner guard, his color, and a rock you can corner freeze to, so not easy, but it's something.
Yeah. Yep. And I think being realistic, I mean, you talked about the credentials on the Jacobs team. You know, Tao's going to have to expect to make some precise, difficult shots if he wants to beat him.
Absolutely. This looks good if they get a buy.
They buy that guard. They're going to scrape
No,
by it.
maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Touch
Touch the back of it, and they're just a little heavy. That's one of those as a sweeper. You hate it. You know you got to sweep it for line, but you're going to be heavy.
Yeah, if his weight was right, he would have been all over that guard. So something's wrong there. It was one of those not proper releases, or else the broom's in the wrong place, because that wouldn't have been close if it had the right weight.
Yeah, because that's sitting on the back line after being swept and had a rub.
And to rub the guard, yeah. So. He had some of his rocks curl in the previous game. We covered them in the B semi at 4 o'clock, and he had a few rocks that went, so he might just have a bit of a softer release than the rest of his team or something.
Yeah. Unwise playing, I agree with you. Getting some sort of a chess clock system for curling would be good. The problem with that is you do rely on the players to have to trigger that mechanism, and I don't know how much we can rely on them for that, but good idea, mate.
Well, we tried that years ago in the Calgary Super League. We had the same problem. We wanted to get our 10-in games in. Back in the day, we played 10. But the club we were at said you have to be off the ice by X hours.
Yeah.
And the guys didn't want to play to a buzzer in a Super League game. It was pretty competitive back in those days. We had, Gausel and Lukovic, and it was a high-quality league. So we tried. We bought chess clocks and put them on the sideboards. And when your shot's over, you had to run back and turn it off so the other guy's time would start. But like you said, then you had to count on your guy remembering, because now he's talking about the strategy or the shot, or I threw it wide or narrow or whatever. Oh, crap, my clock is running. You got to run back there and turn it off. Or it runs for your shot and his shot and your shot. So it's the right theory, because it's your responsibility. It's your time that's running. So if you don't go back there and turn it off, it only hurts you. So theoretically it works. If you ever get the players on board with it, then like if you said to them, okay, it's chess clock or buzzers, your choice.
Yeah,
they'd get good at chess clocks after a while, because nobody wants a buzzer in a cash game, right?
Right.
So, yeah, it's theoretically, I think it's a great idea. We still talk about it sometimes in a couple of other situations.
All right, take out there by Tao. And it looks, who do we think is shot there? Pretty close.
He's hitting anyway, so
he's hitting,
doesn't really matter. Someone's asking for updates. Do you want to run a quick update session?
Sure. Let's have a look.
Sheet 1, there's still no score, so that's easy.
Yeah, that's Zoo and Morozumi. Kui Kleider is up 3.
Yeah, they blanked the first, and he had to draw the 4-foot for 3 in the second end. Kui tried to run back and missed it, so it's 3-zip there.
Yeah. And sheet 4, Maeda versus Toncic, tied at 1 after 3 ends. They're playing in number 4 there.
Yep, Maeda has hammer.
And Brunner is up 1 against Gooskens, playing end number 3. Gooskens has hammer. Abe is up 3-1 with hammer, playing end number 3 against a whip.
Yep, took 3 and forced him, so they got early control there. So Jacob's playing the hit and roll here.
Yeah, they're going hard on this.
Good roll. Good.
Looks perfect.
And it rolled perfect, yeah.
It's optimal. So I was talking about around everything.
Which way do you think is a little better coming at it?
Well, the way those reds are staggered, you get a result with the outturn. But where that yellow corner guard is, it might be hard to fit a rock between the yellow corner guard and the rock in the top 8, the way it curls so late.
Yeah,
there's so much curl late.
Oh, what's this called?
Trying to make sure he scores a point. Make this double, open things up and go down 1 instead of try something risky and blow the game. Not a bad call, right? If you make this double, especially if you make it across the face and roll your shooter away, you're going to have some kind of a fairly open shot to score, make it a 1-point game, and live to play another end or 2 and see if you can get a steal or a deuce back. Give up a 2 steal or something here, and it's over. In the ballpark, I think he's got to make some kind of connection back there.
And a jam.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
No.
Now Jacobs can make it really hard for you to score. Bury half a rock, biting the 8-foot. Or just block the path. good too if you're perfect. Well, it's not to be perfect. You can be top 12.
Yeah, you're really just trying to make the draw tough for him.
Mm-hmm.
That was our first thought, guys.
You like that? Then okay. Here?
Yep.
Kind of hard to get it there. So much late curling, you have to go almost to
Might
the
have
boards.
a triple thing, but who cares, right?
Right on the B, yep. Yep.
So full 12.
What are you thinking for speed to the path, guys? Like, just a couple feet slower than good stuff? I just got it being 2 feet slower than a good path, that's it. If we end up being biting the rings, we're good too, right? Is that what you're thinking, Brad? Okay, full 12s? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good conversation. I love it when the team has that team conversation about speed. It's just you want the line to be right here, but you can't guess. You want to guess that, like Brett said, if we stop a biter or tight guard, it's doing almost just as much good for us as the one that's perfectly full 12.
Right.
You just goes to the T line, you let them off the hook. So you don't want to guess too heavy.
Yeah, you can't be deep here.
Yeah, see the T line, so you totally took him off the hook.
Well, if
Back
they're-
4, back 8.
oh wow, yeah. Now they're going to just get it as far back as they can at this point.
Wow, that stayed out a long ways.
Yep. Kind of exactly what they didn't want to do, right? You talk.
Yeah, if that rock's 2 feet short of the rings on that line,
Yeah.
it accomplishes the same thing. It didn't have to be in the rings. Force him out to the edge of the world and guess. Still a big shot. I mean, it's a simple shot. It's a basic shot. But if you roll 3 feet, it's a 2 steal.
Yep.
So you don't have to hit here either. I mean,
Simple shot, but if you don't make it right, you're probably in for a short night.
it's going to be tough. Down 4 against this team. Well,
Yeah.
against any team, but particularly a team that's a professional like this team. But I'd be tempted to draw if it was me, but that's just me. I don't hit as good as this kid does.
Yeah. 2 shots you really got to be able to do as a skip. One is draw, and the other one is hit and stick. And
Hit and stick. It's not the Mike Harris line. Hit and stick and draw the 4-foot. You win a lot of curling games.
you do, yes. And Tao has made his hit and stick to get his point. Pulls within 1 of Jacobs at the end 3 here at the ATB Classics, coming to you from the Okotoks Curling Club. number 3, and is now down 1 without Hammer playing N4. So Jacob's in control here.
Still a 1-point game, so Tau's not totally discouraged. Right? He definitely has lost a little bit of the control, but it's a 1-point game. Lots can happen. He threw up the center. So that's in, so it can be removed.
Yeah. Were they trying to come around there, do you think?
Yeah, you called him come around, yeah.
Okotoks Curling Club channel. But we're just glad that you're joining us here at the ATB Classic. Of course, if you are in the greater Okotoks area, best way to check out the action, because you can watch all the games happening at once and you don't have to hear us talk, is to come to the curling club.
You can sit beside us though and still hear us
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah, you can use your phone, put on the YouTube channel, and use the headset and listen to us and see all the games.
So he's hitting this biter. I guess you feel like you have to keep it close, keep it simple. If he was to beat him behind that double center, it might be interesting, but there's a chance Jacobs is running it anyways.
And it's going to roll away.
Roll the wrong way.
Yeah. Interesting. Jacobs not interested in removing any rocks there.
Well, it's still a 1-point game. He's talking about it though. They're asking him, "What do you want to do here?"
They say, "No, let's wrap."
Put some heat on him, right?
Yeah.
Put some heat on. Because it is a yellow-red combo. If you ever did have to play a run back, it's your red coming back in, so still ways to blow it up.
And also thinking of the even ends, he wants a score.
Yeah, if you really want to make sure you scored, you'd probably double peel. Those are center guards. You know what I mean? Like if this ever was to go back button or something like that, you got something frozen on the button behind the double center. So I like this call, but it's just one you have to make.
Oh, this is curling a lot on him. They might be splitting the reds here.
Didn't call it, but he'll take it. If that side hasn't been used as much or something, you got 2 guys in a row come up light over there. Well, and the outturn is light as well, so I wonder if it's teensy bit slower. He's got a stagger situation now, so you can wrap around everything.
Yeah, we did a little bit of. I didn't get time, like we had an extra end in both the games, like in both the draws before, so I didn't get a chance to fix the.
Which was
fix the font size.
Oh. There's a 9-ender here. There's one extra end.
Well, that's 16. If that gets here, it's not getting any heavier.
That was pulling up.
Yeah, just coming up a little short. Ice isn't quite that fast.
No, but 16 there, that would mean T-line would be 15. So it's not getting any stickier.
They weren't expected to win this game. They're probably bottom quarter of the league, and they're playing like the 3-time championship team. So
What as a coach, what did you tell him to win?
I'll go there and keep it close. And He's to the outside.
How many period left? Yeah. Just one? Just one.
And Jacobs is attempting to come around. It's going to be looks like we got a bit of a race to the button here.
Yeah, you can't clean that whole mess up. He's got that red run back if he needs it, if he gets in some kind of trouble. So 14-6, this should be closer line. He gave that a real positive release.
Double check that they aren't. We'll have to make sure they're charging. Where's
Perfect weight.
There's like the 4-pack charge.
Shot rock at base kind of
Edge
looks
with edge.
edge to edge there. From when we say that, we mean from the thrower's perspective there. They see that yellow guard and the edge of it kind of lines up with the edge of the red rock that's in the house. So it is not buried, but there is no air there. No daylight, I should say.
I'll text you if
So Tao doesn't like the way this is setting up, so he's looking at if he noses that yellow rock, he might get all three reds moving. The red is sitting 2, and there's nowhere really for Tao to hide right now. So
Yeah, would he ever wonder if he maybe ended up crossing nose just a hair? Could he ever come off the back of that red one into the rings, that second red one?
yeah, I think that's definitely there. I think if we hit it and got rid of the 2 red counters right now, I'd be pretty happy. His yellow one would sit there in front of the rings. It's close. A little unlucky. Had to curl it just a hair more. He doesn't really mean. Well, he's got this. He can run this one on the out turn if he had to.
Yeah. And here you are. You're shot behind 3 guards, but you're not really liking it because none of them are yours.
Yeah, they're all yellow, and they're one of them's usable for sure.
There's your split screen. You know what?
If we can bury this top 8, he'll be pretty happy. Tell play the run to do something, but if you make it right, you won't be able to kill them both. You just don't want to go down to the T line and sort of a run back into the crotch double. So
Yeah, getting you just really want to cut off the path from that yellow corner guard to the shot rock. You just got to get enough in there to
exactly.
that they
So you
can't
can't
get
run
to.
it in for shot. Yeah. So it has to hook a bit for that to happen.
Right. They're staying close. I think this doesn't look light. No.
Mark's been a few feet heavy several times here in this game so far.
That's
playing the run anyways. Looks like with full hit weight, he's got to kind of nut it perfect in there. If you don't nut it in there for shot, he's still got a stagger to come around. So going hard on. He's close.
got to be close here. Does he get the back one? Just rolled.
He's enough to get shot.
Yeah, does roll into the open though.
But he's got that opened up that yellow stagger. He might get a chance before the end's over to wrap one around there.
Yeah.
Top button behind a double yellow stagger. Brad might be looking at that right now.
They're looking originally motion hit and roll. The problem with the hit and roll is you're starting it. That stagger still might not work for you. You're also kind of sitting right on the tee line at that point.
Yeah, he'd be too deep. See, he's looking at this too. That's always my rule about a stagger, is either get rid of it or use it. Because if the other guy beats behind it, you're done. He'd love to sit 2 here, but he knows at some point in time that yellow stagger is going to come into play. You can save that hit, make the come around yourself right now, and hit the yellow one later if you get the chance. He's pretty sure the towel will hit though. If he hits the yellow, he's pretty sure the towel is hitting, not drawing. But you might not get a better steal situation than if you're towel than come around that double yellow stagger on the center line. Just a bit early. Well, it skips first. It's not early at all.
Control weight here. It's got to be real close based on the way they're calling this. All right. Now, if you're tower, do you just straight draw, or do you really want to eliminate that rock?
Yeah, well, the rule of thumb for me is always, if your primary objective is to kill the rock you're hitting, then go ahead and play the hit and roll. If your primary objective is to get behind the guards, then draw behind the guards.
Right.
Because the hit and roll, the draw behind the guards is going to be made 8 or 9 times out of 10. The hit and roll is going to be made 3 or 4 times out of 10. It's just the perfect hit and roll. He does have a 2 rock or a rock and a half width to roll behind. It's a little bit easier, but these are made and they're awesome. They're a 2 for 1 if you make them.
Right.
But on ice that swings like this, that's 14-7, 14-8 draw weight, that come around is made all the time. Hit and roll would be, like I say, below half, where you can make it dead buried. But it's just so tempting because the depth is perfect. You make this hit and roll, you're at the top of the button.
Right.
So it just looks so tempting. And sometimes you make them. I can tell you if it was Skip's last, I bet he'd be throwing the draw.
Right. And they're going hard on this.
You got nothing.
Oh no, this is that's a terrible way to miss that. Josh was asking if Tao has played a draw yet. I'm trying to. Can you think? Trying to think through the end here.
Not in the first end. Not in the second end.
Yes, Cheryl. Yikes is correct.
But it's the same speed as it was. He was out here for 2.5 hours this afternoon. It's the same speed. So yeah. Should be no mystery. He's going to have an opportunity, no matter how good Jacobs makes this. He can have that same hit and roll or the intern come around or something, but he's definitely up against it here.
Just looking to be top 4 foot.
They seem to think it's light. They're going hard.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything extra there. Now they're going to carve
15 in a bit.
I don't think they're going to get to the 4 foot, but
leave it open then.
And they are sitting 3. It is
It's usable.
Yeah.
If Tao was to get,
There's
get,
just
in,
a
get under there with the
yeah.
roll or the draw, it's
Yeah.
just usable.
It's a sliver buried.
Yeah, wow. That's an understatement.
Now, what do you think? Do you think that the hit and roll is the best way to get there, or should you just try to draw? I mean,
It's personal preference, I
Yeah.
guess. The nice thing with the hit now is that you just played it, so you might have a little better sense of how it curls here or how you threw that one.
Right.
Change the throw a little bit. He does have the benefit of that a slightly better angle by rubbing it over now to roll against this back one over here. But I don't know. Hit and roll is not any easier than it was, except for the fact that he just threw it. So he'd be closer, much closer this time. Yeah, you want to get all the way behind the red.
Yeah.
Makes the run back a lot harder. Even show him an inch on the on the far side. Because if you just roll behind the yellow, it's just a little easier red run back.
You're sweeping it.
Rolling somewhere.
Didn't roll too far. Who's going to roll right onto that back one, it looks like? Or is he going to hit it and...
They'll open hit for 3.
Yep. Leaving the hit for 3. You got about 3 feet you can afford to roll outside and still get your 3 towards the out. So probably looking at being, a couple centimeters on the high side here.
Yeah, you might say it's a missed opportunity for Tao to not play the draw on his first, but you can certainly understand why he played the hit.
They're going pretty hard here. Looks like they've got a good one there. And there you go. Jacobs gets 3 on Tao to go up 5-1 at the end of 4 at the halfway mark of the game here in this B qualifier at the ATB Classic, coming to you from the Okotoks Curling Club.
Okay, we're back for the fifth end. That sounds better, yeah. So we're back for the fifth end. We're having a little bit of technical issue there, but we're back. Dan had to go do a little bit of work, so we'll go solo for a while. So he has 5-1 Jacobs. Tao's going to work hard to try and get back into this game, get a deuce here and make it interesting. Jacob started with 2 in the rings, and Tao has thrown the stacked corners, 2 corners on the same side, a long one and a tight one. Jacobs is electing to try and choke that corner off, choke the corner path off. Come top 12, probably just open, wide open top 12, as opposed to putting one in front of the Reds. It's a good play if you make it. This is a rock you have to be careful to be. The weight has to be right. You can't be short. It's just another corner guard. You can't be T-line. Then you give them something to freeze to behind those corners. So this is a really effective shot if it's made accurately. And that's about perfect right there. Top 12, so it chokes off that path. It's high enough it's hard to freeze to. You can freeze to it, but you'll be wide open. So you're talking about a hit and roll on those rocks in the middle. Good shot if you make it. The other shot you might think about would be to hit that rock on the nose with sort of back gate, back line kind of weight. Make a little pocket. They probably ignore it for now and peel the long corner. If you make it good, it's just a hard shot to make. Looks like a really good roll. Well done. So Jacobs is choosing just to go peel that long corner guard. Let them deal with it. Jacobs would totally fine with giving up a deuce here. He'd still be up 2 with hammer playing 6. Pretty much in total control. Just wants to avoid a 3-ender. Just make that peel and let them decide what they want to do next. Any play on that shot rock, if it doesn't roll, leaves them a double. Leaves a double back, so you get a precise roll to the other side of the rings, you've got a pretty good deuce set up, but it's early. You have to be able to carry it for 5 rocks. 4 rocks. Really nice roll. 2 perfect hit and rolls. The second man, that's not. You just don't see the hit and rolls made that often. So good job. So a great chance for 2 now, but Jacobs will try and maybe nose a couple times. Then if those rocks get higher up in the rings, then it'll be a double opportunity a little later on. So you want just to hit on the nose and maybe kick a rock width towards center. And again, his goal here is not to give up a 3-ender. That's all he's really shooting for. He'd love a force, obviously, but it becomes a numbers game at some point. So as long as he doesn't give up 3, he's still up 2 with hammer playing 6. Tao's going to hit here. If he does, that'll then be high enough for Kennedy to make the double or have a crack at it at least. So he's going to want to roll a couple of feet towards the outside of the rings. flatten that angle, make the double harder. But a nose hit here, and you're leaving a double for one of the best hitters in the game. You might have a rollout. Yep. A little wide or heavier both. So Jacobs would love to play this run here and get rid of that. But the yellow's kind of buried behind the yellow guard, so if you ever hit it wrong and don't kill the yellow, you're bringing 3 back into play. He's going to want to really make sure he kills this. Or connects back there. If he makes this, he'll be sitting 2 and got the force in play. If he somehow misses it, then Tao's got a really good crack at his deuce. Made it perfect. That's something to freeze too. I would like to hit that just a little higher, leave the shooter in the way.
Yeah, Tao's definitely in a situation he's going to have to get a little creative with trying to manufacture
Yeah, he had a deuce going there and had a rollout on thirds first, so make up for it here with a really good corner freeze and put the deuce back in play. We see over there, Cooey somehow stole 2 in the 4th end to tie it up. He gave up 3, then got forced in the 3rd. He stole 2 and 4, so that's tied now against Kleider.
Yeah, I missed how that happened, but it wasn't looking good for a while, so it's been an interesting finish to that end. As we go across the sheets here, we have Morozumi up on Zuli. We've had a couple of blank ends that game. It's only 2-1 for Morozumi. They do have hammer, though, so they're in a control position there.
And I think he's got a shot for 2 this end, too, right now. Looks like he's got a hit for 2. Make it 4-1 if he makes it.
Over on sheet 6, Abe's got a pretty good lead on whip.
Yeah, took another 3-ender and 4, so it's 6-2 there, I think.
Yeah, and whips looks like they're facing a bunch right now. Bruner is up 1 on Gooskins, although
with hammer, I'd say.
with hammer, yep. And Maeda has got the lead on Totsic.
Up 3-1.
Yeah, up 3-1.
So 3rd man came up light there on Team Tao. So it sort of takes the heat off. Jacobs can, looks like he's just drawn, coming around his own maybe. He's got 1 top 12 there. Tuck a piece behind that one.
Don't know quite if he got a piece under. It's pretty close. It's edge to edge, at least.
It's good enough. As long
Yeah.
as it's edge buried, he can't get underneath using it.
Oh, yeah, he does. And from that perspective, we can see it is just got that edge underneath there. Like you said, there's no roll underneath.
Doesn't have much, to be honest. Maybe tap it back a foot or 2. Make it hard to get rid of. At least then you can score.
Cheryl's a little surprised that Totsic is in the position they're in based on their performance last weekend, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, I would say this is a deeper field for one thing. And sometimes it's hard to repeat, too.
Yeah, hard to stay hot for very long.
Yeah.
But this is certainly a pretty stacked field here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent here. Yeah, Bruner is having a good season. They've put a lot of last couple of years. They've put a lot of effort into playing a lot of games. Spent a lot of traveling for them too.
Yeah, we played them last year. I coach Team Sluchinski, and we played them in the final in Beaumont last year. Beat them in the final. So, and then they beat us here. Played amazing against us here. So they're just a really good team. Tough to beat. Well, looks like Johnson's trying some sort of an in-off here. Hit and roll of some kind.
Yeah, I don't know how much room he has to roll, though. Is he maybe just trying to get second shot and figure out?
Maybe he can roll for a shot. I'm not sure. This seems like a really hard shot. It's close. I think a second shot buried.
Yeah. And maybe the plan was just sit second buried and figure out how to deal with shot rock later.
You know, Brad could play that short run, or he could guard his shot rock. If you don't want to throw a guard, you might make that run double or something on you. Pretty simple run for, I would think, for someone of Brad's caliber.
Yeah, you just got to be
3 or 4 feet.
Probably looking at somewhere between 3/4 and half to make that.
Yeah, you have a pretty big spot to hit. That's how we determine how easy of a shot it is. So, to put it in close like this, you have a spot probably, what would you say, 3 inches wide to hit. You're going to kill that yellow.
Yeah, you got about a quarter rock's worth of margin of error.
Exactly.
Probably 3/4 of that rock gets you the roll in front of the shot rock.
Yeah,
too.
that's perfect. Yeah, you're sitting 3 and the shooter rolls in the way.
It looked, they're going on this early. I was going to say it looked like I don't know if he softed it a little bit, but it did look like it was going out of his hand pretty quick. Look at that. Oh,
lucky. Got
that's dirty. He knows it too.
I'm sure he'll be apologizing for that.
Yeah. Yeah, rubs the guard and still makes it, but G-Tow's got to be thinking, wow,
what do we got to do?
Yeah.
I'm already getting beat up by these guys, and they getting the breaks too.
Yeah, this guy does not need luck.
Yeah.
But that's curling. See, that's what we talked about. Sometimes you can make it so bad that you're good.
Yep.
And just going for the straight hit and stick here. And no problem there. Tao forced to take one here. And then number 5-2 goes down, pulls within 3. At the end of end number 5 at the ATB Classic. Coming to you from Okotoks, Alberta.
fucking ball.
No, I would just sit light if anything. Looks good.
Lots of weight. It's back 4. Get her open over here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, right.
And number 6 here in this B qualifier of the ATB Classic, coming to you from the Okotoks Curling Club. Tao versus Jacobs, and Tao's in a tough spot here. They are down 3 without playing 6. And they put up their first center line guard. Jacobs tried to draw around it and came deep. That's a rock that you see in the back of the 8-foot. Tao going for the double centers, as they are going to have to take some risks here to try and get back into this game. Thank you for joining us. I'm Daniel Bubola, and I'm joined here by Mickey Pendergast.
Yes, sir. So yeah, it's kind of back against the wall time for Tao. He's got the double guns going up front there, trying to make something happen. Benny was quite heavy on his first one, so the second one looks better. Needs to be in front of the tee line, give him something to have to deal with. So Tao will probably now try and tap that back or freeze to it or something for the time being, because Jacobs is going up and running those guards. He's got Gallant and Kennedy coming up next to try and make some daylight. So
yeah, I don't think we're going to see very many hits from the Tao team for a little while yet.
No, not early in the end, that's for sure. Sometimes that's what you got. You have that at the end to make something happen, but these will all be draws, freezes, taps, trying to make something happen. Set up some angles, get something behind the button.
Comes up a little short, but it is partially buried, mostly buried, and it is in the rings.
Yeah, it's kind of like a tight center almost. It's not bad.
And as you indicated, there's going to be a little bit of speed on this rock coming from Brett Gallant.
Yeah, he's got a chance to get all 3 yellows moving here. He's going to want to get this just a little across the face. Go across the face of the back one. It should redirect it back at the yellow. Could get a whole bunch of rocks moving here. Oh, hit it real thin back there.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, though.
Yeah, double peel. Primary objective. You're going to see a center guard and a peel and center guard and a peel for a while. It's certain at some point in time, Tao's going to have to come around all that stuff or something like that. Probably just come around that stagger and try to get back button behind that yellow. But it'll probably be if they make the shots, it'll be fairly routine for the next few shots. Guard, peel, guard, peel, guard, peel. Unless somewhere along the way Jacob decides to switch gears. He's hitting 2. He might decide he doesn't want to let him beat him behind that stagger, and he comes around maybe on 3rd, 2nd or something. With that scoreboard, probably not, but you never know.
And they're looking at this being just a little high side of nose. Not much.
This looks like just a single peel here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm wrong. You were right.
Yeah. It happens once in a while.
It just left him another guard, though.
Yeah.
So. But it's a better situation. You can't get behind. Before it was a stagger, you could get buried in the button. Behind the stagger, now if you get shot rockets at 1 foot run back. So.
It looks like they're talking about coming into the house, bringing play into the house, and
It might be time.
yeah.
He probably peels the guard in. Maybe make him throw against 2 or something. Certainly seen steals happen where it's just someone has to hit stick against 2 and they roll out. I don't know if he changed his call or what happened here, but it's
Yeah.
not a bad shot, actually.
And Jacobs is just happy to make this one go away. Are they interested in saving that shooter at all?
With that ice, it makes me think they are.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sitting 3. Tao just keeps trying to figure out a way to freeze to something, and when you're in Tao's situation at this point, you just need some kind of a miss out of your opposition, and you need it late in the end, particularly.
Yeah, here it's a all you can try and do is put your rock somewhere they can't remove it for the time being, and then they peel the guard or whatever, then maybe you can do something. But step 1 is put it where they can't get it out, and then they have to do something different. Then maybe you get something going on. 'Cause if you put this anywhere it can be removed, they'll get rid of it. Right? Well, he's not going to get what he called, but he's got something. Pretty easy to kill around the wide side of that guard, though. If he doesn't just peel the guard, it's pretty easy to kill that one. But then that red will be quite a bit deeper,
Yeah.
easier to freeze.
His
Better to freeze, too.
His initial, well, Jacobs has actually talked about just coming in.
I'd be surprised if he did that with a scoreboard. Like he either peels the guard or plays that short little run on the wide side.
His first motion was for the short run, but then he talked about the come around.
Problem with this one is if you do nut it, they can be coming around, be corner frozen, only a couple inches from the button. Probably not shot rock, but somewhere again where they can't remove it, they're close to the button, and they'll do something with their next one, right? So it's If you were to get closer to the nose of this and you kill that yellow and spin your red away, I think that's a better situation. The red underneath that guard is more of a liability. They might just peel. It's not a bad call. Up 3 with hammer, the peel is never wrong. Because where do they sit to that doesn't leave a double?
A double, yeah, it doesn't.
They freeze that one on the button maybe perfectly. And even then, are you shot? Yeah, you can get shot rock in there pretty good, actually.
Oh, and here they are going, is this?
Yeah.
And this is just a straight peel, it looks like.
Yeah.
After all that, the peel was.
Yeah. Then they turned and looked over their shoulder and went, oh, yeah, we're up 3 with hammer. Peel's probably a good call.
Some people in the comment section are talking about their preferred beer choices, or beverage choices, I should say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we have all sorts of conversation happening in our chats, and we welcome those conversations, and we thank you for tuning in. Straight peel here, and now Tal is going to attempt that freeze you were talking about there. I like it just on the center line side of that rock.
Yeah, you could be frozen center line side and be in pretty good shape, actually.
Probably just off center of that. Like I don't think you want to get to the pin.
No.
I think you want to be on the just off the pin.
Yeah. Harder for him to remove that way. If you freeze to sort of 2/3 low, he blasts it and make it both yellows moving. Well, this might be his first draw in a long time. Johnson's.
They're sweeping it, but I think it's for line. I think they've
Yeah,
got the
they'll
weight,
have to
yeah.
Could leave him an easy double, I
Yeah, I was
think.
going to tap that a little too hard. I think the double has to be off the back one first.
Yeah.
Or it's almost as
otherwise
if
you
you're
jam.
trying, yeah. Or you're trying to just whisker the one that he just threw.
Yeah, it's tough to get. I don't think you can. You hit it first, it goes in the red every time. You can just nose it.
You'd be kind of coming into the side of that shot, the one that's on the pin.
Yeah, if you hit half a rock of the deeper one, you're bumping that one straight sideways and you're fine. But you can't hit the one on the button first. It jams every time.
Now, looking where Mark put that broom. Let's see. Which turn is that the in turn or the out turn?
Well,
I'm assuming it's the in turn. Yeah, they're. He's going to be throwing quite a bit of weight on this. I'm thinking we're looking at sub 6 seconds.
I don't think so. 6-5. Six, 7.
Well, you were right.
Ooh, but that's a perfect
And
pocket.
yep.
Perfect pocket. Now you can put a rock in such a position that Jacobs can't score. Well, maybe he can. It's just deep enough. Yeah, it's deep enough. If you're frozen, he still will have access to the pin.
Right.
If you put it 6 inches from frozen, you can probably rattle it off the back and score multiples, and it's Miller time.
He's like,
Are you listening to yourself?
So he's going to have to be about a foot lighter than his last one. I think he wants to end up, when this is done, I think he's got to be within a centimeter of that rock. Can't really bounce, can't really be too short.
They get a goal on this, don't they? Oh, he's there. His weight's
He's
nice.
real close.
No
bounce.
No bounce. No bounce.
There you go.
Really good. But I think he can nose it and go across the top. Hammer it on the nose. Same thing he just threw, basically. In-turn right there. Get at least 2. Nose it, you get 3, I think. There's no way that jams.
Yeah, he may make contact with that
Yeah.
red one, but I think he's going to continue going out the side. You think this one might be a little harder than the 6-7?
He might add a little. He might add just a little on this one. 6-2.
6-2. Yeah, I was thinking we're going to be below 6.5 here. So
Yeah.
Mickey's going to be on the gun here to be timing this one.
Looks like he threw it about the same.
No, and he's trying to make it curl, which is very tough to do at that speed. But look at that, the steal, and it was a 6.48.
I did not see a steal happening there.
Yeah, and look at that. Tao manufactures a steal with a lot of red in play, and that was just a well-placed freeze on his last shot.
Yeah, it was really good. I think Brad had to get all the way to the nose of that to get the right angles going.
All right, so here we are. It is now
Not dead yet.
5-3 after 6 here in this B qualifier at the ATB Classic, coming to you from the Okotoks Curling Club. We're going to start the 7th end here real soon.
And we're back in the 7th end. Dan is playing double duty here. He's commentator plus iceman, dishwasher, whatever else he has to do here. So we're back at it. So Tao was going for the, after that miracle steal last end, he's going for the double centers again. See if we can manufacture another steal. He got a little bit of a break this time. He's got, he threw a nice tight guard. Then Ben went around, Edgebury top 12. Then Tao lead through a nice long guard. And then Benny came up short with the other turn, so it's basically another center guard. So Jacobs has some cleanup to do here. There's a whole bunch of rocks on the center line. And Tao's got one top button. So they got to play cleanup here for a few rocks. Trying to run something back here, looks like, with that broom. Run it back and make some noise back there. Oh, you got it. He's done it 2 wins in a row. He's pretty good, that Gallant guy.
Yeah.
Getting the hang of this game.
Looks like he's done this a couple of times before.
See, I know Tao's going to kind of guard for his life. He's got a half-ass chance of a steal here.
No, I had a fail where I completely had the wrong cameras. I'm like firing it up, like, well, here.
I had a question about the ice conditions here. People talk about rocks gliding in the middle of the ice. I'm wondering if what could be causing that. It wouldn't be a wear down. That's typically not what you get when ice gets worn down or when the pebble gets worn down. It's actually, you have the opposite effect. That's when the rocks kind of come to a sudden stop. Sometimes commonly referred to as fudging, but we haven't really seen that. In terms of why they're gliding, we've seen fairly consistent conditions. Been quite happy with what we've been seeing. Like, as one of the ice techs here, we've been liking what we see, and we have seen some teams making some clutch draws late in the game, which is usually indicative of the ice maintaining its integrity.
Yeah, I've been timing draws, and this is the third draw I've done today for commentating, and usually the time the hog-to-hog time gives an indication of how the pebble's holding up. Because as Dan said, if the pebble wears out and the ice gets kind of flat, then the rocks don't glide the same amount, and they'll grind in. You have to throw it harder then to get the same kind of result. So it'll time different. It'll time shorter.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing any of that. So I didn't time Tao's freeze there, but I would have guessed it was 14.8, 14.9, something like that. So because I timed one in the 6th, it was just fine. I timed a couple in 6 because they're coming up short, and I wondered, but sometimes they just miss out here. Even these guys miss sometimes.
Yeah. Earlier today in the Cooey Schuster game, they went to an extra end, so they're in end number 9, and Cooey had to make a draw. And he got right on the tee line, and it was a 15-1. So that's certainly not the result of fudging.
No.
But hope that helps explain it to you a little bit.
Yeah, as good as you can hope for. Still 15 seconds in the 9th end, right in the path that gets used the most.
Yeah.
That means the ice techs are brilliant. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Just ask Mike if you don't believe me. Just
ask
Mike,
ask Mike Lewis, yeah. Blind squirrel.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that's the case.
Now, we've been pretty fortunate. Things have gone well so far for this event. We hope we can maintain it for the remaining 6 draws that we have here. So we hope that you're tuning in for us or to us over these next 6 draws as well, or at least as many as you can.
I wondered this morning, I was driving here, it was pouring rain. I wondered if that humidity was going to give you guys some extra challenges? Do you have a good dehumidifier here?
Yeah,
How do you handle that?
We're quite fortunate that we do have a dehumidifier, and in southern Alberta, there's most of the time you don't need a dehumidifier, right. But this
Just
time of year, this end of summer, early fall, this is the time of year you need it, and we're quite fortunate. I've made ice in several clubs, and I have to say that the facility that we have here, the equipment that we have, it does make our lives a lot easier. And obviously, it is some of the work that we do, but having a good facility does make, when you have the right tools, it does make your job a lot easier.
Yeah.
So
step 1 is having the right tools. Step 2 is knowing how to use it. But
yeah.
if you don't have the right tools, you're definitely dead.
Yeah. So.
Well, Jacob still hasn't been able to see any daylight here. We need to make contact back there again somehow. Off the red, maybe?
Yeah.
There you go. Look at them all moving. Look at that.
Oh, jeez. Well,
that'd get some kids off the street right there.
Wow, that was...
that doesn't even seem fair.
Yeah.
So
this is where, Tao's going, man.
One
something. Makes a comment there.
Over his shoulder, just laughing, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So he's got to probably throw a tight guard around that long red one because it's not really usable. Anything you get behind there is chaseable with hack weight. So if you come around here on the edge of that ATB logo, I hope you just make the double peel, then you have a guard that's worth using. That's my opinion.
Makes sense. You called the scenario of the last end pretty much spot on. So
crystal ball.
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened? China sort of first world nation. Canada still gave a couple $1 million last year. Seriously, we're giving money to China because they're still taking on the developing countries.
No, that's not good there.
No.
It's an almost automatic double peel. Blank end coming home up to with the hammer. Mark's asking if that jams on that rock that's a half inch from the boards over there.
Nice.
Don't worry about it. Hit those 2 rocks that matter.
Yeah.
It looks like to me it's going to go underneath that thing anyways over there. The rock that looks like it's touching but must not be.
I think it would be pretty difficult also to jam it and have it roll into the rings. I mean, if it's a dead jam, it's still very far out there.
Looks to me like it's going to miss it, but I guess we're about to find out.
The hammer wasn't flipping when I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just under it.
Yeah, Lisa, it is pretty awesome that a university team is playing against a team of world and Olympic champions, and that is still still something that remains in curling, and it has been like that for a long time, and where you can play against the elite at a you can be the up-and-coming team.
Yeah, it's pretty rare in sports, actually, where you can play against a team that's... This team's probably ranked, what are they, second in Canada and top 5 or 6 in the world, something like that. And these kids who are awfully, awfully good. They're probably best top 2 or 3 in Canada through their age level. But to move up the rankings in the world team ranking or the Canadian team ranking system, the only way to measure people is by how many points they get playing in tour events.
Yeah.
So a couple things. These guys don't have the ability to travel maybe like these professional teams, and they don't even qualify for some events. Like the Grand Slam events, the top 15 or 16 teams in the world team ranking automatically get invited. So if you're below the top 15 in the world, you don't even get an invite. So that's where all the big points are. So it's kind of like the rich get richer.
Right.
So it's hard to climb the rankings when all you can do is play in sort of local spiels and stuff. But you can still get better, and I guarantee you. And if they're in the U of A program that Rob Krebs runs up there, has been running it for years, they have all the tools that they can possibly hope for to get better. They go to the gym, they practice every day, they've got nutrition coaches, they got sports psychologists, they've got the full complement of resources that you could ever hope for at their age. So they get every opportunity to get better, and that's where it starts.
Certainly, and Tao is just trying to figure out where can I put a rock that.
Yeah, no.
And
This is just it's two things can happen here. Jacobs blanks, he's up 2 coming home with hammer, or he noses it and he's up 3.
Yeah.
So, you get to these things, get to this point in a game. It looked pretty rough early, like they might be shaking hands early. There's a decent chance they're going to make him throw his last rock in 8.
Yeah.
And they'll be pretty proud of that result.
And whenever you're making someone throw their last rock, sometimes
Funny things happen.
Yep.
That's right. Funny things happen.
I can think of a time or two where I was in a sure situation that wasn't that sure at the end of it.
Yeah, it's never sure. They're all in the corner and you're walking off the sheet. A couple of interesting updates here in sheet 1. Morozumi was quite a bit ahead. He was up 4-1. And Zoo took 2 and 6, stole 3 and 7. So he's now up 2 coming home.
Yeah.
On Morozumi. Cooey's down 1 coming home without hammer against Clyder. What have you got over there in 7? Guzgans is down 1 without against Brunner. I can't see the Maida scoreboard. Looks like Maida is quite a ways up, eh?
Maida, well, they were tied after 5, and they're only playing 7. I don't know what happened in the 6.
I see a deuce hanging there in 6.
Oh, okay. So then
Maida's up 2.
Up 2, playing 7, yep.
And there's a final on sheet 6 there.
Abe beat Whiff.
Yeah.
So Whiff has been eliminated. And that is, again, our junior Team Canada. So.
Well, they probably learned some things this weekend. They had a really good game last night, and then they're up 2 coming home with hammer and gave up a 4 steal to lose.
Right.
So that's a tough one. If they would have won a game or 2 here, I think they would have called it a successful weekend.
Yeah.
So to give that to just give that one away, it's tough to swallow.
Yeah. And Jacobs is successful at his blank here, so Jacobs will be up 2 with coming home play here at the ATB Classic. No, we're on there. They're looking at us there. Thank you. And thank you for joining us here at the Okotoks Curling Club, and we'll be starting this 8th end here momentarily. All right, here we are, final end of this B qualifier, Tau versus Jacobs.
Probably the last end.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, it's true.
guaranteed.
Final end of regulation play. Tau down to trying to steal, and went with the center line guard. No surprise there, but the
depth isn't ideal. Like it's almost like a halfway guard. So it's hard to put this one somewhere where you can't make a double peel because they're going to be too close together. You'd rather have one a foot or two over the hog line, another one foot or two from the ring. So we've seen Gallant in 6 and 7 make contact on rocks that are 12 feet apart. These are only about 6 feet apart. So it's not ideal, but it's a good start.
And you notice with this no-tick rule, of course, with those guards touching the center line, they cannot be removed, knocked off the center line during the first 5 rocks at the end. So even though they're up 2 with hammer, Jacobs does not throw those rocks away. They elect to come into the rings, and
it complicates things when your lead has to make some good shots, and Benny's made 2 good ones here.
Those are great, yeah.
Because if you just throw yours through, like they go center guard, let's say long center guard, you throw yours through, they go tight center guard. You throw yours through, they go on the button. Now you can peel the top one, and if it's made perfect, they're 12 feet apart. Then you go around the other guard. Now you have 2 on the button guarded. Now you know what I mean? Like you have to run something back and make a couple of doubles to get out of trouble. So the professional play is to make these shots perfect like this, and then they have to somehow move those rocks around.
Right, and if they've placed those guards at a good distance, even if you do make the run, you're leaving a guard at some point. There's always a guard in place, so you may as well come in. And this is what makes it kind of exciting, is that
the risk is at sort of a non-elite level is that you play the come around and your lead goes back button, and this next one is a foot short, and now you've got a disaster waiting to happen. So it's like anything else, though, you just have to execute. But over the years, as these rules have changed and made the game more complicated because the players were just too good, they keep getting better at this elite level, and it's way more interesting, though. They're still making the shots and able to clear things up. But it's by making really great shots, really good corner feeds, really big double peels and stuff like that. Quad that Mark made last end, you would never seen that years ago because those rocks wouldn't have been in play.
Right.
So it's fun. I love the rules now.
Yeah.
5 rock with the no tick, I think it's awesome. I wasn't a big fan of the 4 rock because the guy without hammer got 2 guards. But if you need points, you only had 1.
Right.
So I would really like to when they went to 5 rock. And the elite level, the no tick rule really makes a difference.
And I have to confess, I was not a fan. I was very skeptical, let me put it that way, of the no tick. I thought it was a little gimmicky, and then I started playing it, and then I realized that it changes the game in a couple of ways, because it's not just the no tick; it's also on your come around. You can't afford to rub it on the come around, like you're now, because that used to be your tolerance was, well, you're trying to come around, but if you chap off the guard and leave yourself 2 guards, then you're still okay. If you're the team with hammer, and now it's like, well, no, you've got to make sure you clear this guard.
And even on the chase, like let's say you throw a center guard and they come around pretty good. If you want to chase with hack weight, like it's risky now. Because if you touch that guard, everything goes back. So you tend to see guys play the freeze instead because they can't risk ticking it and losing everything. So it's not just for the elite players that can make the perfect ticks all the time. It's for the other shots where you just can't afford to take that risk anymore.
Yeah, and now once I started playing it, I was like, this is actually much more enjoyable than I thought it would be. I've become a big fan of it, and the thing is, not all leagues have adopted it, and for very good reason. But every now and then, if I'm playing in a rec Bonspiel that doesn't have it, I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, and a lot of the rec leagues and the senior leagues and stuff have bothered with it because they don't need it, right?
Yeah.
It looks like Cooey stole.
Cooey
Yeah,
got
stole
another,
one and 8, so they're going extras.
Going to an extra. They're pushing the rocks down to the other end so that they can play the 9th end
Coming
coming
back
home.
to the fans.
Yeah.
I like that rule. They
Yeah.
used to do that at the Nutana Club back in the day, too.
Well, being an Ontario boy, that was actually like common
Standard
practice.
procedure, yeah.
Yeah. And I do have something on my curling resume. There's not very many things, but I do have one highlight. I can say, and there's not very many people around that can say this anymore, is I once stole the 12th end of a game to win.
The 12.
The 12th, it was a 10-end game, and we were tied, and the 11th end ended up being blanked. So we had, and I said we had pushed the rocks, so we played the 10th end, pushed the rocks back, played the 11th, they got back. We had to push the rocks back and play the 12th, so I stole. So that is...
well, we played a 13-end game one time in a 10, and it's supposed to be 10.
Oh, wow.
They scored 1 and 10 to tie it up. This before any of the rules. So we made 7 peels in the 11th end, and the guy threw it in the rings, I hit and rolled out.
Okay.
So then the 12th end, we made 7 peels, and he threw it in the rings, I hit and rolled out. That's the 13th end, and we made like 0 peels. And I did play a little angle raise to the button. I made that one. But the open hits I couldn't make. But the angle tap to the lid, I made that one. So, yeah.
Yeah. Teresa, you talked about you didn't watch before the no-tick. So the no-tick's only been around for, it's been a couple of seasons that it's been everywhere. It was introduced a few years before that at some of the slam events. It was a free guard zone when the hits and blanks started to diminish greatly.
And that was in the early 90s. They started with a 3 rock and then 4 rock and now 5 rock. So that's. But you're right. The no tick is recent, but the free guard zone they changed it. I want to say 92, 93, somewhere in there.
It was definitely in the 90s. I was trying to think where I was in my curling career.
Yeah, I remember the first time Kevin Martin won the Brier was 91, and they would just hit everything in sight.
Yeah.
They was at the Brier. He got 2 in the first end and threw his first rock, 2 in the second end.
Yeah.
And the fans booed, of course.
Yeah.
They don't want to watch that. And he didn't apologize. He said, I'm here to win the Brier. I'm not here to entertain people. And that's when they said, okay, well, then that means we have to change because people pay to be entertained to come to the Brier. So yeah, it's been great, I think. I like the 3 rock. I didn't like the 4 rock, and I love the 5 rock. And no tick. Yeah, it changes things even more.
And the game just has to adapt to the ability of the players. You know, it was the players just started making such good shots that
ice got better.
Yeah.
Players got better. You're right.
Yeah, they got so good that it became boring. So we had to throw more challenges at them, right?
And that's why the no tick was brought in, is because even though you couldn't remove a rock from play in the free guard zone, people would throw like hack weight at a center guard, chip it over an inch from the boards, and a shoe would roll an inch from the boards, and it's essentially a peel without being a real peel. So they had to fix that at this level. Like you said, at the club level and rec level, people don't even try it because it's a really hard shot if you don't practice it. But if you have great sweepers and guys who practice it for hours, they get really good at it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in golf. They've had to do things like limit the size of the driver and make the holes longer and stuff, because otherwise those pros just eat up the courses. So you have to adapt.
And other sports have adapted over the years to their athletes and what works. When you look at baseball, I mean, it's been around for a while, but the designated hitter, the people specialized in pitching, and it happens everywhere. Curling's no different. And here, looking at third stones here.
Oh, Tao's got something going here. You know? He's got a. So the thinking when you're down 2 without, to be able to get like 2 rocks buried on the button, that's not going to happen typically. But if you can make the guy hit and stick with 3 rocks anywhere in the rings and make him hit, or make him draw against 2 buried, even if throw over the 8 foot or something. Like I said at the start of this end, I said I think there's a decent chance they're going to make Jacobs throw his last rock.
Right.
And I think that's what it's starting to look like. Like, there's going to be a really good chance that Johnson can make that nose hit, sit 3, and Jacobs is going to have to hit stick. You know, it's a really good chance that's what's going to happen here.
I didn't see the final result there of the Gooskens-Brunner game. They pushed the Rocks back after 7. And based on the scoreboard, it could have gone.
They must have got 3 or something.
Yeah. I'm guessing we're thinking it was Brunner, but don't
Well, most likely.
Yeah. And
So
double
Mark
peel.
makes this double. Oh, that's
It
good.
makes
He
the
guarded
double.
that. He guarded that
Correct.
natural double. So it's gonna be harder for Johnson to sit 3 now. Way harder.
Kenny Canuck says his curling was before the free guard zone. Well,
That's a while. That's been 30 years.
yeah. Even I started before the free guard zone, so yeah. Back in the 1900s.
Merle's asking if Cooey won. He stole the 8th end to tie. He's got to steal again now.
Oh, is this a hog rock here in the Cooey game? Is that they gonna get that one over?
Looks like it's hog.
Oh no.
They're trying to throw a long guard, and it's a little too long.
Yep, stopped right on the hog line. That's gonna make it tough. Yes, Teresa, we have an active chat here, and we do enjoy that as we have a timeout being called by Tao. And Coach Rob Krebs is out.
Yeah, he doesn't have much. Mark made that double and then stuck right there in front of that double. It's really tough now.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do to sit 2. What are we down to? Skips first? Yeah, skips first. Wonder if you have to make that triple roll to cover this one. I don't know. It's tough. So he's trying to freeze that pocket somehow.
I was going to get fired.
Freeze to the red. That one on the button is a problem.
Looking for freeze on, I believe it was shot rock they want to freeze to the second.
Yeah, it has to be
one,
shot rock. Even if you throw it to your inside your yaw, it wouldn't be terrible, but you have to find a way to get that rock off the button
Looks
eventually.
like they're going to be on
Small
the top
tap.
one here.
Small tap. No freeze there. I don't think that helps you very much.
I'm not sure what you think. You just hit the open.
Hit the open one, kick in, and
I don't know how
it's
you're
over.
gonna. You're not sure how you're gonna sit 2 after that.
It's safe to say they're overthinking this.
Yeah. Well, let's say I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if they see something that I
Well,
don't.
I guess if you were to nose it, he might have a triple, right? If you nose it, he can come off the inside of it into that red crotch and sit 3, 2 buried. So he just needs to make sure he gets across the face anywhere.
Right.
If a nose hit does leave a triple, that'd be fun. Why don't you nose this one and see if Johnson can make that
What if
triple.
he just peeled it? What if he rolled out? Could
That's
he,
good too. That's probably the
that's
best
probably
shot. That's probably not quite so cute. That's probably what he's got broom for, actually. Look at you figuring out what he's going to do.
Hey, you're rubbing off on me a little bit here, Mickey.
There you go. So
Yeah.
now he's got.
I don't see how you get. I don't see how Tao could possibly be sitting 2 after this.
So you follow me till when? So you want to go back there now? Because no, I'm saying.
You run that red
Doesn't
in, there's a jam.
I don't think there's a triple, a run triple, even nothing. This is where you. The sound of Velcro is about to happen here. Well, they peel their gloves off to shake hands.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. I don't think so.
Yeah, looking at there's.
I also throw it just for giggles, but I don't think it touches the back one.
Yeah, I can't see it.
You know what? The only thing that got me through this was my granola bar.
Well, it didn't quite make it with those last ones, but it came really close.
Can we pan over to the Cubby game as soon as the shot's done?
And we're going to be panning over to the Cooey Clyder game as soon as our feature game here is done. I think it's going to be after this shot.
now.
There it is. So Jacobs over Tao. Jacobs qualifies for playoffs.
Does Tao drop straight to a final or back to a semi?
No, he's back to a semi. So Tao's
C
going
semi in the
to
morning.
be in a C semi. And we're now going to pan over to sheet 3 here. This is the extra end. So at the moment, Clyder is shot rock there. Clyder's yellow.
He's got hammer.
And he's throwing. This is
Third's last.
shot.
Tardy just made a really nice freeze into that pocket. So it's mission accomplished for Clyder there to get rid of that red as well as eliminate that pocket. So now Cooey has to figure something out. Do you freeze high side on that red so he can't get rid of them both? Do you throw just a straight guard? Because if you guard now and he peels, how do you set up a steal? You have to hit that wide one.
Thank you.
Yes, Cheryl. Bonus curling. Free
Yes.
curling. No extra charge.
What do we know what he's elected to do?
Pretty
here?
sure he's throwing a guard right now.
Okay.
And then the last one, he'll play some kind of a tap or a corner freeze or a hit and roll. I'm not sure what. It's not great for his last one.
No. So just looking for a guard here. Now, would he be trying to expose a little bit of the center line side of that red rock? Does he want to keep showing it?
If anything, it'll be that side. You don't want to let him chase it with hack weight and sit 2 on you. Although you do have a center guard. But yeah, he wants to show him this corner because he can't do much with it. So I think Clyder's probably just going to peel that. And then Cooey, I don't know what he does. Does he just tap that a foot on the perfect angle? Or like if there's no guard in play, I'm thinking, what is Cooey doing in his last to try and set up a steal?
Yeah, do you try to tap it? Exactly. You're trying to set up the perfect angle, which I don't know if you can set up a perfect angle.
I think you probably have to do more like a board weight hit, and that red spills the back of the button, and you're top 4, and you've got to make a double or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
And they both kind of roll that direction. Guess we'll see. I'm sure Kevin has a plan.
Yeah, they're already talking about it. They're trying to figure out
What's the best? Well, he's one of the best at angles and seeing shots. I think Morizui's got something going too here on one. He's got a chance to get his deuce. Let me get a pistol. More free curling on sheet 1.
Yeah, another extra end on sheet 1, and as the peel gets made there on sheet 3. Mickey, could you ever hit the yellow one? You push it to the back of the 4-foot while your shooter rolls to the side.
I think in order to do that yellow one's going to be basically half out of the 4-foot if you make it perfect. It's just going to be a pick. So I don't think it's a very hard shot.
Right.
I really think the best thing for him to do is to hit like 2/3 of a rock with board weight, just like you indicated. It rolls a foot, and the other one then spins back in behind it, and make him draw the button or make a double. As long as you're sitting 2. Yeah, just what he's indicating there. Just see where Kevin's broom went? That one goes off the yellow and sort of redirects the back 4-foot back button, and your shooter rolls a foot. So it's still going to be a 2 or 3 foot double, but I think it's the best you have. And probably one of the best ever at throwing board weight hitting rolls is the guy about to throw this rock.
Right. You know, this Cooey team has 2 coaches here. And in this event, you're allowed to call a timeout and get your coach come out. But I don't think they've asked their coaches for anything.
Now, the only time Cooey actually calls a timeout, like at the Briar and stuff, is just to add some time.
Yeah, just to save the.
He doesn't usually look much for advice. He'll say, "So, what do you guys think?" But mostly, he just needs a little more time. It'll be interesting. If he makes this good, Kleider's going to have to make something decent. That will spin back button. How much weight he's throwing. I think it's like a board waiter, maybe control.
What do we figure, 3/4?
Sounds about right.
Hit about 3/4 of that rock. I'm trying to get it to curl now. It's a question of where is that. We know they're getting rid of the red one.
Head is a little thinner. It's pretty good though. Like, that's really good.
Yeah.
So now he's got to draw the 4-foot, hit and stick, make a double. I think if that would have hit it half an inch higher, just a hair higher, then the shooter rolls a little farther, the back one doesn't roll quite as much, and then you have to make about a 4-foot double. Now he's got to draw with a little helper, a little backing back there. So.
Dishwasher.
So Ryan Kleider's got a Rylan Kleider's got basically a draw. He's got a little helper there. You don't usually want to think about the back one. Sometimes you overthrow it then. You just want to play this like a normal draw. They're on it hard. He's not heavy. I think he's good. Right on the button. Great shot.
Sure, thanks.
Kleider drew the button. So Kleider wins 6-5, and he qualifies out of B.
And Kui will be playing in a
C
semi tomorrow.
Yeah. But didn't he come through the C? Was it last year or the year before? He came
Yeah,
through
he
the
does
C
that a
all the way
lot.
to the
That's
final.
yeah.
It's kind of his style.
Kui has won a lot of events. I think very few of them have been undefeated.
Well, he was the first guy when his first Brier in 2010 when he won the Brier. He was the first guy ever to win the Brier coming from the 3-4 game. So
Yeah.
he's one of those guys who just battles along.
If there's a path, he's always a
still there.
contender.
That's right.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow at the ATB Classic, coming to you from the Okotoks Curling Club in Okotoks, Alberta. I'm
Okay,
Daniel Bubola.
Thanks,
I've been
Daniel.
joined by Mickey Pendergast. Thank you for your input, Mickey.
You
and
bet.
we'll
Thanks,
see you soon.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Take